It began with disasters, both natural and man-made, plunging the world into chaos. A catastrophic tsunami devastated the coastal city of Oceamara, drowning entire neighborhoods and displacing millions. At the same time, relentless wildfires consumed the inland metropolis of Viremont, leaving it in ashes. With trade routes severed and infrastructure in ruins, the nation's economy collapsed. A corrupt government siphoned relief funds into wars abroad, abandoning its people. Homelessness surged, protests erupted, and food supplies dwindled as the country spiraled toward anarchy. Meanwhile, across the ocean, a war in Velkaris took a grim turn. The opposition forces, victorious after years of conflict, launched swift invasions of neighboring regions like Etravia and Norvain, leaving governments powerless and refugees fleeing in all directions. In the region of Khalibar, a tyrannical regime long supported by outside powers crumbled. Known for years of oppression and atrocities, they were cast out by a global outcry. Rising from the ashes, new leaders of Khalibar and its neighbors united, determined to reclaim their future and free themselves from external influence. But just as hope flickered, the earth shook violently. A series of catastrophic earthquakes struck cities across Zalhara and Taraketh, leveling buildings and claiming millions of lives. The survivors faced grim conditions, collapsed hospitals, failing infrastructure, and limited aid. As these regions struggled to recover, the world watched in horror, paralyzed by disaster after disaster. Then came a new nightmare. A deadly virus emerged in Vandora, spreading across the world faster than containment efforts could keep up. Within 3 days of infection, victims succumbed to high fevers and organ failure, leaving entire cities in despair. Nations shut down borders and enforced mass quarantines, but the virus had already reached every continent. Amid this pandemic, whispers of biowarfare circulated. Nations accused each other of releasing the virus during covert battles. Distrust escalated as the biowars intensified, shattering what little remained of global unity. The world stood on the brink of collapse, its cities in ruins, economies shattered, and hope fading fast. With no certainty about the future, humanity searched for light in the darkness, clinging to the possibility of survival in a broken and hostile world. In the wake of a devastating virus, nearly 6.5 billion people perished, leaving the earth scarred by a grotesque reminder of flesh and decay. Entire nations were wiped from existence, and the survivors faced a grim reality. Unable to endure the overwhelming stench of death, they fled underground, seeking refuge from the horrors above. This catastrophic event served as a harsh punishment for humanity, a reminder of their neglect and failure to learn from the tragedies of past wars. History had repeated itself, but this time, the consequences were dire. As we conclude this chapter, we are left to ponder the heavy themes of survival, sacrifice, and the consequences of our choices. What do you think humanity must learn from its past to shape a better future? We invite you to share your thoughts in the comments below. Until we meet in the next episode, stay safe and reflect on the fragility of our existence.